Hey folks, welcome to the channel. My name is Si and this is Chris, back again for our second Crusade game in our campaign. This is the Defense of Achillon, a staging point for the Imperium for rearming on the way for the Indomitus Crusade, where the Imperial Fists have left behind a small detachment to reinforce this planet against further xenos incursions. However, not soon after they began fortifying it, the Necrons arrived, intent on claiming the eldritch artifact stored in a vault deep below the surface. Necrons are led by the overlord Achillon the Undying, who set down in the last game in order to overrun these lesser beings. Put the Necron warriors down on the surface, the standard tactics, and then was soundly rebuffed as the Imperial Fists, led by K'spruce Arcturusk, pushed them back and basically ran right through them, leaving just one squad of warriors left on the table. So there's the Necrons are now back. They're translocated down to the planet to try and secure a beachhead on this planet, somewhere they can pool their forces and then start striking out against the Space Marines. So they've chosen this remote location out in the Badlands, away from any fortifications or defense sites of the Space Marines, in amongst these long abandoned ruins, perhaps left here by some primitive tribal society before the Imperium arrived to claim this planet. So the Necrons are here and they are trying to secure a beachhead. So for this mission is going to be Supply Drop, which is the second mission in the Crusade mission pack. We'll go through the forces we're bringing along today. So here are the forces of the Infinite Silence, the Necron warband led by Achillon the Undying. So we've changed up the force a bit for this mission. We've dropped a squad of warriors and are now taking something more choppy. So after being torn down by the assault intercessors in the last mission, Achillon has decided, if you want to get up close and personal, I've got some Necrons for that. The heavily modified Scorpec destroyers will be coming along on this mission and looking to engage the Imperial Fists. So yeah, we've got Achillon back along again. He recovered fine last time. Plasmancer Irazar, however, picked up a battle scar in the last mission and suffered a loss of reputation, which means he can't give out auras or be affected by auras. This effectively means he can't benefit from the protection of his crypto thralls. So they won't be coming on this mission. Instead, we're going to rely on the lookout server to keep him safe. Necron warriors are back with the flayers. This is Phalanx 010, otherwise known as the Spectres. They were marked for greatness last time because they managed to hold on and keep the point for the whole mission. We've got a unit of Scarabs here, 6 bases. These will be nice and fast and get up in the Space Marines lines. Last mission we were pushed back quite quickly, so having something faster will definitely be good. And then finally we have the Scorpec destroyers, squad known as the Reavers. They will be looking to bathe their machine bodies in the blood of the Space Marines. Well, that is if they survive the approach. So this is the forces of the Imperial Fists. Chris, you want to take us through? I mean, this is the same force as last time, right?
Exact same force as last time. The leader is a little bit more hardened, however. So up front we've got K'spruce Arcturusk. And who else we got here?
So he picked up a battle trait last time, didn't he?
He did, yeah. So he's gotten himself an extra wound, which is going to be very handy in his foray with the Necrons. In behind him, we've got the Outrider Squad, which is led by Sergeant Brother Jaxus. That's the guy with the Terminator kind of face on him. Down in front, we have Rodrell's Intercessors, 10-man assault intercessor squad. Leader is rocking out a plasma pistol, but he's not actually. So he's got the same gun as everybody else.
Just a standard heavy bolt pistol, is it?
Yeah, just a standard heavy bolt pistol. And then lastly, in behind him is my favorite. We've got Brother Gavinus and Adamus riding their Primaris Invader ATV. They're rocking out a multi-melt on top and a couple twin auto bolt rifles in front, so definitely a fast, powerful, punchy unit right there. Let's see how they do this time around.
Very nice. It definitely did work last mission, that's for sure. Okay, so the deployment zones and the objectives are set up. We rolled for it. Chris rolled a 5 versus my 3, so he got to choose whether to be attacker or defender. He chose attacker, so he placed 2 of these objective markers. Objective 1 is right slap bang in the centre there by the fountain. 2 is just between the ruins and the rocks on this side, and 3 is very close to the deployment zone on this side. So the deployment zones are long ways across the map, marked out by the bright yellow dice. So here we are, deployment has happened. The Necron supplies are translocating down as we speak. Small nebulas of energy beginning to form on the objectives. And the Imperial Fists have arrived just in time to intercept the ATVs and the bikes set up on the flank here, ready to rush forward. Intercessors ready to charge through the ruins to the centre of the battlefield. On the other side, the Scorpec destroyers, the Reavers, have set up behind this wall, hoping to get some cover from there. Whereas the Warriors are here, ready to secure Objective 3, and the Scarabs are poised, ready to fly up and over the ruins, try and push back the Imperial Fists. We need to roll off for first turn. So we should do that. So, or who gets to choose first turn, shall I say? So I got a 3 and it's a 2. So my choice. I'll have a little think about it, and then we'll kick off for the first battle round. Hey, battle round 1. I have elected to go first, so the Necrons have pushed forward into the ruins and rock piles of this abandoned settlement. We've engaged our command protocols, so the protocol for the first round will be Protocol of the Sudden Storm. We've chosen Directive 1 to add 1 to the movement characteristic of units. So the Scarabs don't benefit from this because they're too far away from a character, but everything else moved an additional inch. And with the Relentless March aura from the Overlord, the Warriors moved a whole 7 inches up onto the objective, with the Plasmancer following them close behind. The Destroyers here have gone a little bit conservative, or maybe just waiting for the right opportunity to pounce. Pushing straight forward here onto Objective Run 1 would not be a clever idea, because puts them in shooting range and charge range of virtually everything in Chris's army there. So we've held them back a little bit, just hiding behind this rock pillar, waiting for the opportunity to fall on the Space Marines with their hyperphase threshers. I think that's what they're called anyway.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, yes, it will be bad news bears if they make it into combat. So last thing to do at the end of the movement phase is the Plasma, so it's going to use this Harbinger of Destruction ability. And we've measured up, and the unit of assault intercessors there are both visible and within 24-inch range. We're counting these grills for the ruins as dense cover. But since this is just a mortal wound ability, we don't need to bring that into effect. So it's just roll 3d6, and any 4 pluses inflict a mortal wound. Got a 2, and a 6. 1 mortal wound going through on your assault intercessors, and then we're going to move on to the shooting phase. So Gauss fire flares out across these ruins, hammering home into the intercessors, getting the last wound off the one that was already damaged from the Harbinger of Destruction. Oh wait, actually, I haven't shot the plasmic lance yet. He's still got to shoot. Never mind. Read the rulebook. It's only 18-inch range, so everything is still out of range of its plasmic lance. So no charges are going to go on. Nothing's in range. So that is going to be the end of Necron's turn 1. And we'll see how the Imperial Fists respond. So end of the Imperial Fists movement phase. The intercessors have pushed up, eyeing up the Scorpec destroyers across the courtyard here. There's a bit of a Mexican standoff going, but a charge might come. The brother Captain Arcturusk there is backing up his boys, ready to give them those important rerolls. The ATV has stayed mostly stationary, just shuffling up a little bit to position itself between the two rocks here to line up some shots. And then the bikes, the Outriders, have pushed around, looking to perhaps charge these scarabs and deal with that threat at least. So ended the Imperial Fist's shooting phase. The bikes shot through the pillars of the ruins here into the scarabs, killed 2, and put a wound on another base. Rolled reanimation, and we got 1 back, which we've just reanimated at the rear there. The ATV let loose on the Scorpec destroyers. However, we used the whirling onslaught stratagem to reduce the wound roll by 1. So all the bolt rounds from the ATV and the intercessors largely deflected off their blades. Got 1 wound through on the lead destroyer there, who's now down to 2 wounds. Although having living metal, if he remains in time for the next round, he will heal that back. And the captain was out of range. And now we're eyeing up some charges on the scarabs. Okay, so at the end of the fight phase, the assault intercessors tried the long bomb charge of 11 inches to make it to the Scorpec destroyers. But yeah, it was a bit of a low chance and they failed that one. The Outriders swept around the ruins here to engage the scarabs. Cut a couple of them down. But as the scarabs fought back, they engaged their self-destruct protocols for 1 CP. So a base of scarabs blew themselves up and inflicted D3 mortal wounds on a bike. And then when the remaining 2 fought, they managed to scrape in an extra 2 wounds, which brought down 1 rider and injured another. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I was expecting the scarabs just to get wipes, but they held in there and started chittering and swarming all over the bikes, taking the armor apart with their feeder mandibles, just eating it like a nice nutritious metal snack. So, start of battle round 2 at Necron's turn. The Scorpec destroyers have pushed out of the ruins into the central courtyard and are looking to get their blades wet with Astartes' blood. The scarabs have stayed where they are, locked in combat with the Outriders, just doing a kind of holding and delaying tactic there. The warriors have moved away from Objective 3 into the rock piles here. Still just managing to retain control of it by these 2 warriors of the back rank here. And the Plasmancers move forward as well. So, we still need to do his destruction ability as well. That's movement phase. I'll roll that in a second. But yeah, because it's a new battle round, we have a new command protocol, which is the protocol of the Hungry Void. So as a dynasty that uses the Novok dynasty codes, we get both directives of this protocol as well as our dynasty code bonuses. So hopefully these destroyers are going to do some work this round. So at the end of the shooting phase, not much shooting going on. The Plasmancer with his Harbinger of Destruction ability lashed out and dealt 2 mortal wounds to the assault intercessors. and then he shot with his plasmic lance, which took out another one. Necron warriors opened up with their Gauss flares. Despite the weight of firepower, only succeeded in stripping one wound off an assault intercessor. That Imperial Fist power armor doing its work. However, now we are moving into the charge phase, and the destroyers are looking hungry. Okay, just a quick one at the end of the charge phase. The Scorpec destroyers made their charge, only needing 3 inches from the lead guy there. And Overlord Acerak the Undying is also out for revenge. He made an 8-inch charge with a roll of a 12 to come and engage the Outriders here. Hopefully be able to take that one down on 3 wounds at least, and maybe even get lucky with a second. We'll see. So, end of the fight phase, the destroyers come charging in, their hyperphase blades whirling around them in a whirlwind of death, and the intercessors don't even get a chance to retaliate. They are hewn down and left dying on the battlefield as the destroyers press through, now eyeing up brother Captain Arcturus for their next round of attacks. Can he hold the line? We'll see what he does in this turn. Around here, the Overlord Acerak has charged in with a few sweeps of his glaive, has killed the wounded biker and severely damaged the sergeant, who still remains chainsword raised, ready to die for the Emperor.
Hell yeah.
So the Imperial Fist turn 2. At the end of the movement phase, the Outrider stayed here locked up with the Overlord. The ATV shuffled around, lined up on the Scorpec destroyers, and the Captain also moved forward. We did a bit of shooting. The multi-melter did a lot of work, even with the whirling onslaught stratagem, managed to get 2 wounds through, which just vaporized 2 of the Scorpec destroyers. However, one managed to piece itself together again, taking its twisted remains and standing back up, ready to shed blood once more. The only other shooting that happened was the Outrider leveled his pistol at the Overlord, shot him right in the head, managed to get another wound off him. And the Captain did the same thing, but failed to wound the remaining destroyers. So in the fight phase, K'spruce Arcturusk came barreling in with shield held high and cut down the 2 destroyers with his mastercrafted power sword. Wasn't even a big deal. Casual.
He saw them get massacred in this fight with the
Yeah, he saw his brothers get cut down in front of him and knew he had to enact retribution. Meanwhile, over here, we got into the normal fighting with the defender going first. So Overlord Acerak swept out again with his hyperphase glaive and just cleaved the last wound off the Outrider. So yeah, this is how it looks at the end of Battle Round 2 as we move into Battle Round 3. End of the Necrons movement phase. So the Scarabs has flown up and over the ruins in order to both take that objective and charge in and try to shut down that multi-melter for a turn. In the middle, K'spruce Arcturusk holds the line, last man standing against the approaching Necron horde. The warriors have pushed up, deciding to keep control of Objective 1 rather than trying to stretch out and control both. 10 points, because we controlled 3 at the start of in the command phase. And Plasmancer Irazar has floated up to the top of the rock pile here in order to gain a commanding view of the battlefield, so he can line up the targets for his next volley of plasma. So end of the shooting phase, the Captain has stood there and weathered the entire volley of fire from the Necrons. He shrugged off the destructive plasma from the Plasmancer when he shot with his plasmic lance. Did manage to get one through, which is 2 damage, and then the flares bathed him in Gauss Fire, which stripped another wound off. So he's down from his formidable 9 to 6 now. So in the middle, the warlords meet and trade blows. Acererak gets in a few hits, knocking K'spruce Arcturusk down to 5 wounds, and he delivers 1 back in kind, knocking Acererak down from 5 to 3. So this fight will go on into the next round. So end of the Space Marine's turn. No movement, a couple of pistol shots whipping out, but no damage done. The fighting continues in the middle. Both combatants locked in deadly combat, but neither one managing to deal the killing blow. The ATV manages to crush a unit of scarabs under its wheels. Doesn't receive any wounds in return, making some good armor saves.
Well, that was incredibly brutal.
Yeah. So at the end of the charge phase, the silver tide of Necrons surrounds the captain. It swings their scythe-like weapons in towards him. And when the dust settles, the captain is no more. With the Novok stratagem, 20 attacks came in from the warriors, and beat down a few of his wounds, just enough to get him within killing range for Acererak to deal the killing blow. So, today, the day belongs to the Necrons, who have managed to secure a beachhead on the planet of Achillon. Now they can begin their campaign in earnest to reclaim the planet and access the vault. Okay, that's the end of the battle. Any comments, Chris?
Nope, nothing to say.
No comment. Yes, retribution came and retribution was had. Acererak does not suffer insults lightly, and after his pasting in the last game, had to bring out the destroyers to erase the organic life from this planet. So, yeah. So next time we're going to do another 500-point game, and then I think might be ready to up the stakes a bit. Okay, that was another fantastic game, and I'm not just saying that because I got to chop up some Space Marines as my newly painted destroyers, although that's kind of the reason. So we're in such a rush to pack up that we forgot to do the out of action rolls again, so I just got Chris to record himself rolling for all his units that got taken out of action, and as you can see, they all made it through that Astartes physiology, allowing them to shrug off the most grievous of wounds. So they'll be back and ready for action in the next game. So the other thing we forgot to do was do experience for all our units. So everyone got 1 experience for taking part in the battle, and once again I marked my squad of Necron warriors, marked them for greatness. So they received an extra 3 experience, which is enough to get them up to the blooded rank, which means we can enhance them in some way. Chosen to go with weapon enhancements. So the way we're doing the upgrades for this Crusade is we get to pick what type of upgrade we want to give them. Battle traits, artifacts, weapon enhancements, etc. And then we have to roll on the table. So for these guys, I've got 2 options here. I've got the table in the Necron Codex, the Gauss weapons, and I've got the generic weapon enhancements table in the main rulebook. So what I'm going to do is going to roll d6. On a 1 to 3 we'll use the Necron Codex, and on a 4 to 6 we'll use the regular book. So there's a 2. So we're going to use the Necron Codex for this. So if your unit is an infantry or a biker, you roll 2d3, re-rolling duplicates, and you get to add those 2 results to your weapon profile. So I'm going to roll for these guys. If I could roll in the same place, that'd be really handy. So we've got a 1 and a 1. Okay, so we'll re-roll this. Damn it, why am I so good at rolling double 1s? Re-rolling duplicates. Double 2s, this might take a while. Now double threes. This is getting a little bit ridiculous at this point. Okay, 2 and a 1. Finally, not a duplicate. So for Gauss weapons, this gives us molecular vaporizer. So if we destroy an enemy model till the end of the turn, that unit is treated as being below half strength. Might not be so good against Marines, they ignore combat attrition modifiers anyway. But for 2 we've got nanoparticulate dissembler coils. Try saying that fast. Each time an attack is made with this weapon unmodified to hit, scores 1 additional hit. Okay, so that's quite cool. We've got a kind of like a semi-Tesla effect going on, where we get extra hits on 6s. So yeah, these the Spectres squad will now be firing with a bit more efficiency. So I've heard from Chris that he has also leveled up his ATV. That got marked for greatness, so that is now at the blooded rank. We're going to figure out what upgrade he gets next time when he comes around for the for game 3. So we'll do that at the start of the game. Otherwise, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. It's as a new channel, it's great to have had so many views on the on game 1. So yeah, if you want to see more, then please click the like, click the subscribe. Really helps us to grow as a new channel. So really appreciate that. So thanks again for watching. Take it easy and see you next time.